So you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So what we want to do is we want to talk about the four things that you need to do on that first call with a tech, because I get this comment all the time. Hey, we had a great conversation, and then now the tech won't return my calls, they won't return my text messages, or they didn't show up for their interview, or even worse, we made an offer and they didn't show up for the first day of work. I've heard all of those things over the years. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we put that anchor in right up front. And this is how you do it. There's four things that need to happen on that call. One of the things that needs to happen is just generally, you want to determine the skill level. So if they don't have the skill level, it's just not going to work, right? So you want to know that, you want to get over that as quickly as possible. And then the next thing though is you really want to have a powerful answer ready for the question, why should I go with you? And I always ask this question when I'm in on the onboarding calls with a new client, as I just say, hey, look, the reality is if a technician is talking to you, they've made up their mind, they're ready to make a move, and they're probably talking to two other shops. So you have to really be ready with an answer of why they should go with you other than those other two shops. And you have to have it clear, concise, compact, and it has to be powerful. So that's something that you really want to take time to work through. And we're going to go through that today. The other thing is you want to ask the question, what has you looking for another shop right now? Because a big part of selling your shop or selling the dream of your shop is solving their problems. So if they're having a problem at a dealer, or they're having a problem with, uh, getting dressed down in a service bay in front of all their colleagues. I mean, I've heard that one. If they're just sick of working on Saturdays, I've heard that one. If they're sick of not having AC in the shop because it's just sweltering, whatever it is that's really their main pain point, you want to see if you have a solution to that pain point, because that's another way that you can anchor the conversation. Now that triggers them. Oh, that's right. That's the guy that has AC in his shop. Oh, that's the guy that, they have regular one-on-ones. So, I don't get called out in front of everybody. They address things privately in one-on-one conversations, and they make whatever recommendations there. So whatever it is, now the next time you go to call them, they take your call because they remember who you are, and it triggers that. The next thing is you just want to future pace them. If we're talking 1 year from now, looking back, what would need to have happened personally and professionally to make this the best year of your life?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And what this does is now you understand a couple of things. Now you understand, is this somebody that wants to be in the industry for a while? I was talking to a young tech a few months back, and he said, Chris, I just can't get excited about an endless stream of cars, an endless line of cars to fix. And part of me says, God, that's the job, buddy. But the other part of me was, I really understood what he was talking about. What he's talking about is he wanted to be part of something bigger. He liked the work, he loved cars, but he just didn't feel like he was part of something special at the shop he was currently at. And if he'd had that conversation, then his manager or the owner could have had that conversation with him and helped him build out that vision of a future. The other part of that is personally. I've worked with lots of shops that have done things that are just extraordinary personally for their employees. I've worked with shops that have helped them with down payments on a home, helped them get their credit cleaned up, sent them to outpatient drug treatment programs so that they could, clean themselves up, and, held their job for them while they were gone, did all kinds of amazing things. And if you find out what they want outside of the shop, there may be a way that you can help them get that. And then now you're making sure that their life is taken care of inside and outside the shop. Now, again, how many other shops are doing that? How many other shops really want to find out what you're trying to accomplish outside of the shop and inside of the shop? You've set yourself apart. So the last thing, and this is actually skill level, I don't really consider that as one. It's important, but it's not one of the really critical things. But this one is who is the best technician you've ever worked with? The reason why this is important is if you finish each call and you say something to the effect of, hey, this has been a great conversation with you, John. And, I know you're going to do your homework on us. We'd also like to do our homework on you. Tell me, who are the two best techs you've ever worked with? Can you give me their name and contact information so I can give them a call and just find out a little bit more about what it was like working with you? Now you can talk to technicians who have maybe more experience than the tech you're talking to, but they're two solid technicians. And those conversations, basically, you've just turned one lead into two more leads. So you've got one lead into three leads. So we highly recommend that happens on every call. Sometimes we're working with a shop and they'll rifle through all of the applications and they'll say, oh, this guy only has 1 year of experience. Oh, this guy only has 2 years of experience. And they chuck the applications instead of having a conversation with them because sometimes they don't always have an up-to-date um, resume. We see that a lot. We see this is something that I've started seeing over the last couple of years is technicians aren't listing their most recent employer that much anymore. So you don't even know if they've been at a shop for 3 years and then they have other experience. You don't know because they don't list their current employer. Sometimes I've talked with a couple of techs and they say, well, it's because I don't want my current shop to know I'm looking. Other techs just say, I just haven't updated it. You just never know. But you want to make sure that you're having that conversation because anybody that's been in the year for it been in the business for a year or longer, they've most likely worked with a tech that would be a good quality candidate for you. So you want to get to that name if you can. Okay, let's get into the demo. Do you have any questions before I jump into the demo?
Chris, when you're talking about the best technicians they've ever worked with,
Mm-hmm.
when you talk to that technician and you're talking to them to get a reference for the applicant,
Yep.
how do you roll if you've already made up your mind from what you've heard and read that the applicant is not going to be a good fit? How do you roll in to the reference to maybe kind of fish around to see if they're interested? Do you go something like, hey, we were offering the applicant A, B, and C, and D, and this is what we're all about here, and how would you fit in to try and maybe plant a seed, not to actually say, hey, are you happy where you're at? Do you want to come work for us? It feels kind of, I don't know, you and I have talked about that a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
about how
That's
it feels to go after a reference instead of the actual applicant.
that's a
Uh,
great question.
I didn't know if maybe you can sit there and maybe just just put your pitch out there to the in a side view kind of a thing for the reference to maybe they would consider you. How do you do it?
Absolutely.
How do you do it in a way that they feel comfortable saying, "Hey, how many people do you need?" or something like that?
Yep. Yep.
I've never had success with that, so I don't know how that would work.
That's a fantastic question. So my answer is this. What I've seen work the best, and this is actual what I've heard work from other shop owners I've talked to. What works the best is when you start that conversation, you just say, "Hey, look, John gave me your name. He respects you. He says you're an amazing technician, and he came here and he applied with us. What was it like working with him?" And you have the conversation. You let him tell you, what kind of guy is this? What's his character like? What's his skill level about? And then when he's finished saying everything that he wants to say, then the way that you pivot is you just say, "Hey, you know what? We're looking for a few good techs. Do you know of anybody who's looking?" And
Okay.
let him talk and whatever he has to say. And then you are ready with your elevator pitch or your technician pitch. Just very quickly, 30 seconds is, "Hey, look, this is what we've got going on. We're an independent shop. We've got this, and this going on. We're looking for, a good technician that's, got this, and this going on. Do you know anybody that fits it fits the bill?"
I see what you're saying, and like if they say if when they're telling us about them, if they say like, I don't like working weekends, you can use that as a pivot point or something to.
Bingo.
I get you now. I get it. Okay.
Bingo. And I'm going to tell you, so I built this GPT to help you with this process.
Oh,
And
great.
my idea is here's my idea. I don't know if it's silly or not, but my idea is once you get this thing dialed in, you just print it out and you just put it next to the phone. So you've always got it. So whoever's next to the phone has it. And whoever's answering the phone should know this information because they should be ready for the
Right.
conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So let's do this. I am going to do this. So you can take the way that I design this is you can take there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. One is you can just go in, and by the way, I think you both have access inside the Technician Find community to the Shop Owners AI Toolbox, right?
Think so.
If you don't, just DM me inside of the Technician Find school community and I'll get you access.
Okay.
It's right now it's kind of in demo mode, so not everybody has access to it. It's just, I'm just approving access one at a time. So um, because you both were on this call, you definitely will have access. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to go into the GPT fresh so that we can start out. And this is the pitch formula. And then here's what it looks like. So when you get into the link inside of school, it'll look like this when you get here. And then you just click here to begin. And what it'll do is it'll walk you through a series of questions. So these questions are designed to elicit all of the information that is necessary in order to generate this. So you can walk through, and answer the question step by step, but I'm going to show you a shortcut. So the shortcut here is I'm going to take the ad that we wrote for Craig, and I actually have the revision here too, Craig. I'm hanging on for your GM to get back to us and let us know if there's anything else in those conversations before I get
Yeah,
it over to you.
thanks. Yeah, he'll do that.
Okay, great. So here's what I'm going to do. So we can grab your ad, and your ad has everything in it that really communicates what your shop is all about. And then we can do this. We can say, and what I'll do is I'll just paste it in and let ChatGPT do its thing.
Chris, white's doing that, do you from talking to techs that are looking, do they want, is it important or more beneficial to say as much as you can in the least amount of words, keep it real short and sweet? Or do folks want to see everything about you all at once and kind of read it first, then decide?
Usually in the first conversation, it's short and sweet. It's just kind of a get to know you. So it's really important to set that hook and to set yourself apart as being unique in an abbreviated fashion.
Okay.
Because when you sit down for the interview,
Yeah,
now it's going to be, you know,
I got you.
yeah,
So,
now you
yeah,
open the
yeah,
kimono. That's the kind of thing. And then you really get into the nitty gritty and what the details are. But the most important thing really, it's like I think in terms of marketing, because that's really, that's my background in my
right.
digital marketing company, and that's really what we do when we're finding talent for shops is we're marketing, right? We're
You're
marketing your
right.
shop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in marketing, everything is a test. So each headline is a test. The job description is a test. Whatever we throw out there, it's a test, and we're always trying to elicit the response that we want. And everything leads to the next thing. So I think what a lot of people get stuck on is they get stuck on, oh my God, I gotta hire the tech on this first phone call. And that's not what you're doing on the first phone call. What you're doing on the first phone call is you're setting yourself up to be to compel the technician to continue the conversation with you.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I've had shop owners tell me, well, one shop owner, awesome guy. He said, you know what? I think of hiring as dating. And he says, you know, the first call is the first date, and you don't offer, you don't propose to somebody on the first date.
Yeah.
But you get you find out if you like them, and you find out if you could work with them. And, at the end of the day, it is like a marriage because you're going to spend more time with this technician probably than you spend with your wife, than you spend with your kids. It's like, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, you're going to be
Yeah.
spending with
Yeah.
this person. You,
Yeah.
you, you really want to make sure that you're taking the time to really understand who they are. So that first phone call, the only thing that you're trying to do on that first phone call is explain to them how their life can be made better if they decide to come to you, and continue that conversation so that you can talk more about that.
Okay. I get it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so here we go. So this is what it came up with. It came up with 3 elevator pitches. So there's one that has a culture and lifestyle focus. So the hook is, hey, you put in the years, you've mastered your craft and built your reputation. Does your shop match your level of dedication? At Craig's Car Care, we believe in fair pay, drama-free environment, and a team that has your back. No favoritism, no toxic politics, just supportive shop where your voice counts and your work is valued. We invest in our techs with paid training, a comfortable climate-controlled shop, and a steady flow of work. If you're ready for a change, let's talk. Simple, concise. Here's one for technical excellence. Hey, you stuck in a shop where outdated tools and chaotic workflows hold you back? At Craig's Car Care, we invest in cutting-edge diagnostics, modern equipment, and ongoing training so you can do what you do best, fixing cars at a high level. We give each tech 2 bays, keep the shop fully stocked, and provide a monthly tool bonus. Opportunity statement. If you're looking for a place where your expertise is respected, your growth is a priority, and your skills are sharpened daily, we want to meet you. Let's build something great together. Here's another one that's work-life balance. So I hope you can see what we're doing here is, in a perfect world, you'd kind of have a feel for each one of these because what the technician says to you is going to dictate how you respond, right?
Right. Yep.
So when you're a master salesman, you have all this stuff in your toolkit because if the prospect says, hey, I don't like X, then you have to say, well, here's the deal. I know exactly what to say. It's objection handling is what they called it in the industry. So here's the one that's work life balance priority. So, you get a tech that says, I'm sick of working on Saturdays. Hey, you love being a technician, but does your shop respect your time? At Craig's Car Care, your life outside the shop matters. No weekends, flexible scheduling, PTO you can actually use. Our goal to help you love your career again while keeping your work and home in balance. You've worked too hard to be stuck in a job that doesn't appreciate you. If you want steady hours, great pay, and a team that supports you, let's talk. And then here's the one-liner, sound bites. So tired of favoritism and empty promises? Rerun a fair, drama-free shop with your work speaks for itself. So Craig is an example here. So here's something I hear all the time when I talk to techs. Um, I'm sick of unfair dispatching. I'm sick of the dispatcher playing favorites, feeding gravy work to the pet techs, and I get stuck with all the crap jobs. So if you heard something like that, boom, you
Yeah.
could you could just pivot. You could say, hey, you know what? Over here at Craig's Car Care, we run a fair drama-free shop where your work speaks for itself. Boom. It's just that simple, just a quick sound bite. Another one is, I'm sick of working on weekends. Hey, you know what? We don't do weekends, we don't do chaos, we don't do micromanagement. We're just a solid team and get steady work in a climate controlled shop. Here's one about investing in tech. So we prove it with paid training, top equipment, and steady work. Here's another one about good equipment. Another one about enjoying coming to work. Hey, we're not perfect, but we're working at getting better every day together. That's your line, Craig.
Right. Yeah.
Good
That's it.
stuff. Yeah, we incorporated that in there. And then next one, flat rate doesn't have to mean feast or famine. We keep the work flowing so you stay busy and make money year round. Boy, I tell you, this is one of the big ones. One of the big
Flat rate.
ones. You can,
Yeah, flat
you,
rate's tough. We
yeah.
do that. We do that 30-hour guarantee,
Mm,
and then they can build their hours on top of that with all the other bonuses. We tried the 40-hour guarantee, and we hadn't found anybody that worked for yet.
hmm
That's
Yeah.
there's right people out there for that setup, and we have some here already, but we haven't found one coming in where they just I mean I was a tech forever, and I like chasing that carrot. I
hmm
earning my own check. I liked that was just one of the things that worked. So flat rate worked well for me, but I get different generations wanting the guaranteed dollars, but that's been
hmm
difficult finding the folks that'll accept the responsibility, knowing what their responsibility is.
Yep. Are going to keep my hands busy.
Yeah.
I hear that one all the time. So that's a big consideration. Another one is no politics. No politics, no BS, just a professional, well-run shops where techs are respected and rewarded. Um, I get that one all the time. Gosh, the bureaucracy, the red tape, three layers of management between me and decision makers. That's something that I hear a lot. And then here's the AC. Our AC works as hard as we do, 75 degrees in summer,
Yeah.
68 to 72 in winter. Comfort shouldn't be a luxury. We don't just want another tech. We want a teammate who's ready to grow with us and help us win. Boom. So you can see any of these, you can just have them there on the sheet of paper right next to you, and you can just pull these out whenever you need to and just have them ready to go so that you can really be effective and powerful in these conversations.
Good stuff.
So, you have any other questions about this? I mean, we can run other demos if you want, but that's all I have. I just wanted to show you this, and then you're going to get access to it and you can play around with it. Love to hear your feedback.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff.
And you can use those sound bites anywhere. You can post them on social media. If you've got an email list that you send out to your customers, that's a great way that people don't think about a lot. But just sending out a quick email and saying, "Hey, look, this is what we're offering. Do you know anybody that's a tech? Mrs. Jones, I heard your nephew's, a technician or whatever it is." We have a lot of shops that hire that way too.
Just using the sound bites.
Yep.
Okay.
Use the sound bites. You can even use the pitch too. If you set it up and you put it into the format of a social media post. So
Oh,
what you
okay.
can do is you can go into ChatGPT, you can grab that sound bite and you can paste it in and you can say, I'd like to make a passive recruiting post for Facebook using this.
Yeah.
And then you take a picture of your shop, you take a picture of a tech, you know, preferably smiling if you can get them to smile, under a lift or under a hood or something. And then you take what ChatGPT spits out because it'll format a Facebook post for you based upon that soundbite and make it look like it's just
Wow.
a shop culture piece. And those are super powerful because you can just post a shop culture piece on Facebook and then boost it and then it just it works for you 24/7 just showing people what it's like to work for you.
Good stuff. Wow, that's neat. Will,
Yeah.
will that chat GPT look at the pictures or anything?
It won't. You can generate pictures, so
I mean, we have our own stock, our in-house images. I just didn't know, is it able to look at a picture of a happy technician under a car and come up with something, a one-liner off of that?
um ChatGPT, um the last time I checked it didn't. I'm sure they're working on it because there are other platforms that do.
Coming soon. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Just a
it's
thought.
whatever you want, just wait a little bit and it's going to happen. They're going to
Yeah.
change so much. But here's something it will do though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what does it look like?
And it'll generate a post for you. I mean, a image for you.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah, you need to clean that up. But
Yeah, but yeah,
you,
that's pretty good for 15 seconds.
yeah, exactly. That's what I say. It really is. So, you can play around with a little bit, but this is how you can get posts out there, and this is how you can make them really quality posts that really are customized to your shop and your culture.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, what a world we live in, huh?
Yeah, right.
Any other questions that I can answer for you?
No, this is a lot to think about. I see Matt just responded to you also. So when he gets done, or you
Oh,
get,
great. Okay, I'll take a look at that when I hop off this call. Okay. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm
yeah,
going to get
thanks,
this.
Chris. This is
Yep, I'll
pretty
get
amazing
this.
stuff. Exciting.
Yeah, we'll get this edited and popped into the school community if you want to rewatch it.
Okay.
Take
Thanks
care,
so much.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
See you
Chris.
guys.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.